Hello everyone and welcome to the first ever home session of Dungeons and Drag Queens, now in podcast form due to the current pandemic. I hope you're all doing well out there, keeping safe and still playing D&D hopefully, and if you're not, we got you. Now, just to clarify, these home sessions of today, of which today is the first one, are meant sort of as intermediate D&D sessions between our live shows, where the main story takes place. In these home sessions, we're going to drive the story of our heroes further and show you what happens in between these big live shows. We're going to be playing a little bit more traditionally in these sessions, as we're currently sat around a table in a room, dice in hand, and I've got battle maps to terrify my players if need be. So, without further delay, I'd like to introduce the players that we have today. So I'll call you by name, and why don't you say hi, so our audience can get to know your lovely voices. So first up, there's Matthew playing the Orzhon Street Rat.
Hello.
Oliver.
Hi. I will be doing Oliver, which means that my voice will start sounding a little bit different in a moment. But many of you may know me as the street-smart monk that likes to punch things, which I think is the most accurate description of the character thus far. I'm currently studying and producing film and theatre, and really excited to go further in the means and realms of drag and D&D with Dragons and Dungeons, of course. So
that's a great start here.
Yes. I'm 20 and really excited to get to the session today.
Well, as are we. So, secondly, we've got Lars playing the Alberian Lunchbox Knight, the one and only Eclaire.
Hello everybody, my name is Lars Reen. I'm a Dutch artist. I do stuff with video, music and installations. I like the idea of belonging, and that ties into with the character Eclaire.
Welcome to the group.
Welcome to the
You're
group.
part of something now.
So last but certainly not least, we have playing the charming, the dazzling, the best looking warlock you'll ever see, Vanity.
Thank you. I was like, I don't get a name anymore. I'm just Vanity from now. Well, yeah, I'm Kevin, also the artist known as Miss Vanity Love. I also do quite a lot of drag outside of the Dungeons and Drag Queens realm, but this is quite a special project for me. So I'm mostly a performing artist, doing whatever, so hire me. Yeah, no, but really excited to continue this adventure during these times. I think this will be exciting.
Oh, there's another one who joined us. Who's this? It's the other DM.
I have my own mic.
Oh, that's true.
I am that bitch. No, I am
I'm that
usually
bitch.
I am usually playing Margot LaVorne. I am one of the co-DMs of Dungeons and Drag Queens. I am Derk over, also a artist designer from the Netherlands, and I will be co-hosting on the podcast.
Doing silly voices.
And you'll hear me when you need to hear me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite.
Yeah, and I didn't really introduce myself, did I? No.
Who are you? Who are you?
I'm Freya. I'm a writer, an ethic. How do you say that in English?
What do you want to say?
Trash.
I would say
And I studied ethics.
And philosophy.
Yeah, and I philosophy also. Yeah, and I wrote the world of Toussaint.
I wrote the word.
I wrote
if
the
you're really
world.
angry about the pandemic, go to Freya.
Because she wrote it. Aw.
Sorry, everything needs a good plot twist once. Yeah.
You
come
thought
on.
everything was
every
going
100
right
years.
in 2020? Bam! Here you go.
Yeah. I feel like 2020 is like that session where like only 2 people show up and everyone else like, my goldfish died.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the snacks. I'll be back never.
And then you play like half an hour. Okay, so let's jump into it. Now, last time that we left off during episode 2 of Dungeons and Drag Queens, you all went to the second ever annual Witches Convention, which was a mandatory event for all witching households in the Alberian Empire, where the total amount of witches in the Empire were tallied, their documents renewed, and the vast array of Empire-developed technology was showcased in a display of grandeur. The convention was overseen by the lovely Imelda Violet, of course, which I'm sure you'll remember, the head of the so-called Witches Association, which is an imperial government branch which stands for the emancipation of witches through a code of conduct. Now, you three went to represent the House LaVorne, completely unaware of what was happening back at the mansion during your absence. While you were at the convention, news arrived of the death of Maru and the so-seeming dark history of your family member, the wizened elf preacher called Eli. Believing the news to be true, that Eli was responsible for spreading this kobold plague, Imelda Violet called for your immediate arrest, and you only narrowly avoided capture thanks to the help of the Grand Artificer and unlikely ally Doretta Bosk, who had previously been a mother figure to the now deceased Maru. In the end, you managed to successfully escape the facility by jumping into the Fleer's Float, a part of the river that runs through Doran that lined the facility, only just avoiding the wrath of Imelda Violet, who is now still staring you down hatefully as you slowly drift further along the river, out of her reach, and to safety further south of Doran. And that's where we're going to pick up today's session. So, as you see the unflinching eyes of Imelda Violet trained on you as you float away, taken by the stream of the Fleer's Float, you feel as if the weight of the world falls off your shoulder suddenly. Miraculously, you made it out of the coop alive and well. But where do you go now? You're drifting further south, in the middle of this wide river, away from the coop, but also away from the LaVorne Mansion, away from your home. You notice that the sky is turning darker as the evening approaches, and it's very cold in the water, as the stream is relatively rough, and you can still hear the yelling of Alberian legionnaires faintly in the distance. They're still looking for you. And then it hits you. Aravos, your fire genasi friend, is a little too calm as they're floating face down in the water next to you.
The fire monkey isn't breathing.
I immediately reach over and try, well, first of all, turn him around and then try and get him to somewhere we can stand and check if he's okay.
So as you turn Aravos around, which is easy in the water, they seem fine. They're unconscious but breathing, yet the lightly flickering flames that always caress Aravos' body have all gone out, and you see just a silky smooth baby pinkish skin underneath, no eyebrows, and little to none of the beautiful fiery hair that they had before. The only thing that remains are tufts of like baby-like hair, like two little palm trees on their head, still bound like pigtail buns, and it looks like Mr. Potato Man has taken off the mustache. But they're still breathing, they're still fine.
Okay.
However, you do still hear the Alberian legionnaire shouting in the distance.
I'm just going down the river
So
then.
you have to swim like a little bit, because it's at least like, I think, 20 meters in width. If you go to your right side, you would go immediately back to the coop.
Oh.
If you go to your left side, and you would stand up, that would probably mean, at this moment, if you're still so close to the legionnaires, that you'd be seen.
How like secure? Because I imagine that with Eclaire's big like puffy skirt, there's so much air under there. Can we like go on top of Eclaire?
She's wearing the heaviest armor you've ever seen.
Is she like not sinking?
The only reason why you're not sinking at this point is because of your huge skirt. So you're like a jellyfish in armor at this moment, floating down the river.
And as you're bouncing on the water, you're buoyant still, but the stream is quickening and quickening as you drift further down the rivers. You try to keep Aravos afloat as his body tries to go under the surface constantly, but the stream is now catching up.
Make a perception check, actually, all of you.
Can't we just tie a rope around them and drag them with us?
I don't know, do you have rope in your hand?
15.
10.
12.
12? So then Oliver would only see that as you notice you're gaining a little bit speed, ever so slightly, you see in the distance, further along, a dragging, rough current further along the river that runs through a number of jutting rocks that break the water. This does not look safe, the direction which you're headed.
Right,
but you're
I
not
think,
out of earshot of the coop just yet, and you still hear the yelling in the distance. You have to think of something.
What do you want to do?
I think we need to figure something out, because there's rocks coming up and I don't feel like being scratched to shit after we've just got out. Getting out on the right side isn't an option. Getting out on the left is probably still dangerous, but would make a little bit more sense. What do we do? 'Cause
We can stay in the water and just follow the river.
No. I don't think you listened to what I just said.
No, I didn't.
About 50 meters ahead, which is going to be pretty soon, there's a lot of sharp rocks sticking out, and the current is breaking on them. So they're very big, and they will be very painful.
As you're having this conversation,
if
I
we
want all of you
collide
to make an
with them.
athletics check.
Oh, okay.
As you're slowly
So
getting
intense.
taken by the current.
That's plus.
Natural 20! Sorry.
I just have a 10.
And I think I had. Wait, what's my plus? I had a
Who of
9.
you is holding Aravos?
I'm holding out.
I had an 8.
As the rocks come closer, you manage to drag them, I guess, from a little bit from the right side of the river to the left, and you avoid a rock as you just go past it. You both, unfortunately, crash into the rocks. I want you all to make a
Ow.
Constitution check, saving throw.
Maybe I've got a 7.
Can I get a different set of die, please?
Okay.
So I have a 6.
Vanity is not as lucky as she slams with her head on one of the rocks, and blood is coming from your forehead. You take 3 damage, and you
Wait, do I have like 1 life left? How much life did I have?
1 left. What you have 1 life left as you now go under a little bit and then up. You are gasping for air as you are being dragged by the river.
I hope this doesn't scar.
Eclaire, I forgot to mention, because you have heavy armor and you're in water, I need you to roll the athletics with disadvantage.
Do I have to roll again?
Yes.
Wait, hang on. No,
It's a 17.
A 17! Oh my god, okay.
Okay, so you all into one of the rocks and you hear the resonating clang of as your metal armor just crashes into the rocks. You also take 3 damage.
I don't want that.
Well, that doesn't mean anything to me. So you crash and you all continue down the river. Some of you now more bloody than before.
I will try and help my people, and I'll go, Vanity, didn't you have a health potion in your bag that you could take? And Eclaire, could you not do some magic on yourself this time, maybe?
As you yell this at Vanity, Vanity says, what is blood streaking down your head?
Who stored the health potion?
I did.
You did, right?
Yeah, I hid one of them so that it wouldn't get taken away. But how many did we have? 2.
I know you have 1 hit point. That means you might be a little bit frazzled.
I
But you
would-
could still definitely take out your
I take
potion
it out
and
and-
drink it. Yeah.
And like down it, like one shot it.
Okay, so as you take out the health potion, you uncork it as you gobble it down. As you can roll 2d4 plus 2.
7. I get
Should
7
I
hit
touch
points back.
myself?
Yes. Touch yourself.
I'm gonna use lay on hands, my pool, and I'm gonna give myself 5 hit points.
Okay, so as your hand starts to glow with this almost divine blue light, you touch yourself over the wounds on your shoulder and your face, and the wounds magically start to close up little by little. But the stream is quickening yet again, and you see at the end that the water
I can't
It's
deal with this no
going
more.
for
I
a drop.
immediately go to exit towards the left, which was the safer side.
Make a perception check, Vanity.
Oh, okay. 15 plus 1, I would say 16.
Okay, still dazed, you look from the corner of your eye and you see branches hanging over the part where it would drop, and they go almost halfway over the width of the river.
There is a slidey thing at the end. That could be fun.
No, I don't think we should take the waterfall. I think we definitely shouldn't. Vanity, did you see anything?
Yes, come. I grab this. I grab with
Okay.
both of my hands, trying to grab this.
Make a final athletics check for me. Yeah, bitch. Yeah.
Why is athletics suddenly so important? I roll a very beautiful 9 minus 1, 8.
Okay. Does anybody want to help her?
I'm going to try and take my axe, swing it to the side to do like to
Yeah, you
to
want to sort of
hook
have
myself.
A hook. You want to hook yourself.
Yes. That could be a natural one, but athletics is +4, so it's a 5 DM. It's a 5 DM. DM, it's a 5.
So as you try and lob your axe to try and get a hold of this root, you accidentally swing so hard in this water because you have to overcompensate for the drift that you it slides out of your hand, and it starts to whoosh, 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 along the side and on the land to your left, so out of the river. Make me a perception check, Eclaire. I'd say with advantage, because you're looking exactly in this direction.
In the meantime, Oliver has successfully swam his way together with the unconscious body of Arafos to the branches and is now currently holding on to...
My perception check is a 17 minus 2.
Eclaire, having missed terribly with her axe, the axe just whoosh, 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 and then hits in the side of a number of bushes. One of these branches on land, further along to your left side, out of the river, you see a branch snaps, and revealed is a small abandoned cave entrance.
Look, Karen made a gap and it made an entrance into something.
Wait a second. I was gone for 1 minute and you named your axe Karen?
Yes.
When did
No
this
comment.
happen?
I mean, it's very fitting with your personality.
So what are you going to do? You're...
So I've got Aravos, and as soon as... are they both able to get out of where they are?
Unfortunately, they're now floating towards the drop.
So I drop Aravos on the side of the...
So the unconscious body of Arafos floppingly rolls onto the shore.
Yes, and I will reach out for who is it closest to me.
I think that would be Vanity.
Cool, then I will take hold of Vanity and I will call over to Eclaire, like, just try and grab the branch up.
So Vanity, your arm is being grabbed as you almost topple over the side. You can make one more athletics check for me.
Who is you?
Eclaire.
This is a 13 that I rolled. So a 30.
So in this weird wet conga line, you are now holding each other. Vanity holding on to Eclaire and Oliver holding on to Vanity. Arafos lying on the shore. I want Oliver to roll one more strength check as you see that the muscles in your arm are going to tense. And you need to hold...
Well, thank fuck for the advantage, because that's a natural 1 and a 16. So that would mean it's a 16 strength check.
Well, bleeding and gasping, you all make your way over and you see several logs and leaves crash down onto, the stony surface that is underneath the drop of the waterfall. Luckily, you didn't topple over. And you all managed to roll yourself next to Arafos, panting, gasping, definitely drowned almost, as a breeze of nice air is now flowing through your wet hair.
I did not sign up for this.
Well, neither did I, Princess.
Way too much.
Could someone take Aravos, because my ankle is still fucked tonight.
I can maybe carry you on my shield if you like.
But the thing is, I can hop. Just somebody needs to get Aravos.
you start hearing in the distance now. I think they went that way.
Fuck! Get in the cave! Get in the cave! Get in the cave!
I run to the fire monkey, pick it up, and run back to the cave.
So you manage to pick up Aravos and take them to the cave. And as you all sit there, I'd like you all to make a stealth check for me, please. As
Can I
you're
just-
sat in the dark.
Can I try the 3 branches that I took off? Like put them in front of us?
Yeah, sure.
like try to put it back in.
You roll me with advantage.
That's a 15.
Well, I prefer not to tell, but it's a 5.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Eclaire is a lunchbox knight, so this is what happens. Luckily, as you're sitting there, Vanity sees what's happening. You're holding up the branches, and Vanity's like, "Oh no, this is going all the wrong way." She's clearly visible. Her armor is reflecting in the
Shining like
moonlight.
a mountain.
This is going all wrong. And
Probably-
you start to make like bird noises, and as that happens, you see them all. I think they went the other way. Must have been the wind.
I just found out I'm a ventriloquist.
You can see clearly these are legionnaires. These are elite knights from the Alberian army that you've seen in front of the coop before when you entered. They're holding these large rifles, these really long rifles, and are clad in full metal plate armor with only this draped half cloak in Alberian silver and gold colors.
All right, it's time for me to powder my makeup, so I need to take an hour or two.
She
do
says
that.
with a bleeding head.
I'll just,
I'll fix this.
and
I'm just going to sit here and be quiet, okay?
all right.
God.
Well, if you need to talk,
Oh.
you can, because I understand that what happened is not something. Well, we also
want
don't
that?
usually.
What? Oh no.
Okay,
Yes,
I
you
will
can
talk. Okay.
Make me a perception check, Vanity and
Perception
Oliver.
or insight?
I'd say perception. So, Oliver, you definitely see, as Eclaire is saying this, she has on her cloak, almost like an animal pin or whatever, it seems to be a small insignia of what looks to be a house of sorts, heraldry. And it's green and silver, like the Alberian. Let me just look it up.
A rose with a crown.
And it's like a, here it is. There's a Tudor rose, and it has MP on it.
What's the little brooch flaggy thingy on your?
Yeah. Oh, that's really cute. Do I recognize it?
Also, DM, I will use one of my
Nice,
D8
yeah.
to just get some shit back. I'm back at full health.
You would have heard about this royal house in Alberia once before. You're relatively well versed in these kind of things, but Alberian royal houses are not really something that you generally know. However, this one is very well known. House Mavis is one of the only remaining older houses of Alberia before the Empire came, and it's generally known for creating delivering these powerful paladine, these really strong warriors versed in this holy magic to the Alberian Empire. And they're
Why would a Maeve?
Mavis?
Why would
Mavis.
Mavis be all the way over here?
Well, you know that the Seraphim, we all have like a task that we need to do. So I was sent here to help the witches because
You see Eclaire go off in this flurry of words as he sort of almost gives you her entire family history at once.
And you know, of course, that the Seraphim, they're the divine visitors of the Chantry that have a task as mortals in Toussaint to give structure and art. And they left their memories in the Chantry, as you all know, and the place we all return to when we die, that's the
Eclaire.
Chantry, yeah.
You could also tell us this a little bit slower.
I inspect my bags to see if I have any sort of tea for headaches.
You always keep a small sedative herb on you.
She's a stoner. I rolled the sedative herb up.
like, child!
Every prestidigitation, I just light it up and just take a big puff.
She starts quietly smoking in the cave.
So my question is, personally, how do you think you're helping witches by helping Alberia?
Well, in the Great War, Alberia helped everybody to get their own thing.
Well.
Because there was, in the Great War, there were these big houses that were all like fighting each other, and then the Empire came, and then everything went peaceful again.
You actually see that Eclaire, while she's sort of speaking very confident, you see the tremble in her hands and also in her face, and she isn't as secure as she
Projects
looks.
herself
Yeah.
to be.
I'm not saying that whatever you want to achieve is bad. I'm just saying that by literally being in line with the people that oppress other people, you're not really doing a whole bunch for witches.
So you also think that I'm a bad paladin?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're joining the bad side. That's not helping you become a good paladin.
But the good side, the bad side, why do we also have to talk about good people, bad people? Why can't we just be like people?
Well, I'd love to be about people, but for that we'd need to have a world where we could actually just not
As
have
you're
bad
talking
people.
about good and bad people, you, Eclaire, get a little bit of a flashback regarding your traumatic experience with Imelda Violet only earlier today.
So, I don't know a whole lot about these people, and I don't know how they got the information that they have on, well, our family at least.
Yeah.
But
I could maybe help the fire monkey get his fire back.
that
please.
sounds
Actually,
like
Speaking of which, let's turn to Arvos and inspect.
Arvos is still there on the ground,
he was fine, he was breathing.
Can I use
Like we didn't even check if he was breathing.
I
Okay.
did.
No, he seems fine, although
Is it he, she, or they?
It's he.
it's he. His body seems to be in a sort of catatonic state at the moment, as the flames around his whole body have doused. You don't have any medical knowledge about how fire gymnastics would work, so this is still a mystery to you.
You get the feeling that Arvos is not necessarily in danger, merely doused, literally and figuratively. So as you're resting, you take an hour, which is the least that you need, because this has been a long day. You've been traveling all morning, and then you came to the coop, and everything went wrong. You've just been running and trying to stay alive for the rest of the time. So as you try and regain yourself, tend to your wounds just ever so slightly. It kind of hits you, Vanity and Oliver. They might be going for your family now, because you're not the only ones who are outlawed.
We need to find a way to contact the mansion. Is there
There is a postage system in Doran, however, it's less of a centralized line of communication than something like the Empire would have, which is a much more centralized postal system and roads. Doran usually takes a couple of days for your package or
I'd say
message to get there.
we'd have more of a chance to actually walk back. Like, we would be there early if we walked back than if we would send the letter.
Right, or we can get a horse somewhere.
But I don't know where you want to find a horse with people looking for us everywhere.
Hello everyone, we're taking a small intermission and I just wanted to let you all know that these episodes are made possible by our patrons over at patreon.com/DNDQNL, all letters DNDQNL. We really couldn't make this type of content if it weren't for those people backing us every month over at Patreon. Right now, everyone backing us on Patreon is getting shoutouts by their favorite characters from our cast, as well as receiving episodes early. So these podcasts that you're listening to now have already been available to Patreon users for a while now. Finally, our patrons always get a pre-sale so that they can be the first to get tickets for our new live shows whenever there's one available again. This way, they'll make sure they have a ticket because they always sell out so fast. So if you want to support the channel or help us further, or if you even just like the content that we're putting out in this way, please consider supporting us on Patreon because it really, really makes a world of difference. And to those already backing us on Patreon, thank you so much. You're amazing. Make me a perception check, all of you.
Oh, can I be asleep next to Arvos?
Yeah, sure.
Just for the
So as the evening falls,
15.
18.
so you both hear it instantly. You hear outside of the cave the whirring of wheels, and then a faint, whispering voice on the edge of the cave as you both fall silent. The hushed voice and the wheels fall silent as well. And an eerie silence travels through the night in the cave. As slowly from the corner peeks a silhouette. You can't see the eyes, but it seems to be of a smaller humanoid individual. And as it steps further and further, you see a meek woman with a red farmer's outfit with green patches all over it. She's old and she has a small tremble in her hands as she looks at you nervously.
Guess I'll have to sleep over here. Oh god, my old bones. No.
And you recognize the voice of Ingrid Mudbubble, the potion seller that you met earlier at the convention who was kicked out.
Hi.
Not in another cave. Oh.
Would you like to join us?
Oh god, who said that? And you see a small lantern go, who said that?
And as a light illuminates the cave, you see this strange woman. Here she is.
We bought you potions.
Oh god, I'm so glad to have company. Wait, what are you doing here?
We're resting. What are you doing here?
Make me a deception check.
I got a 16.
16.
I am on my way to Rizaltrov. I live there.
Lizontrov?
Rizaltrov.
Rizontrov? Where is that?
It's a town
Oh, Rizaltrov.
southwest of here.
Port.
Damn Alberians throwing me out of the convention. I didn't tell anything.
Speaking of selling things, are you selling anything?
No, unfortunately, they took all my wares.
And she sees Eclaire, and she grabs a broken bottle. Ah!
Hang on.
Soldier!
She's good. She's fine. She's with us.
Fine.
Right. Hey, I'm from Doran, so I know what you're going through, but she is fine.
Yes, we were there with you, honey, before.
Well, sorry if I'm a little bit mistrusting, but these were the people that were hunting us in the forests.
Wow, don't worry, because, I mean...
Girl, wake up!
Well,
What are you doing here?
have a wait, huh?
What is going on? What is going on? I don't understand any of this.
Hello?
We're just trying to get back to do you know Brovnoya?
Yes, I know Brovnoya.
Well, so no, we're really not going to Septon actually. We're going to Brovnoya and then like a little bit further to our house where we live.
Well, who are you again? I didn't catch your name.
I mean that's
What a formality. Just call me
No,
Darling.
I know almost every witch in Doran. You can tell me I'm a
I'm
witch.
not a witch.
no, you're a paladin, sweetie. That's something else.
Sorry, but your brood brothers have just confiscated all my wares. Now I can't sell anything. I don't know how I'm going to survive the winter. What do you have to say for yourself?
How about, darling, we need to go to Brovnoya, so maybe we can give you some money to pay for our fares, and then at least you have some more money to, restart your life, because we really feel for you, but we'd love to support you if you could help us out as well.
You see Ingrid sniff a little bit.
Danger root.
Danger root?
route.
Have you been at the LaVorne Mansion?
Where?
The LaVorne Mansion. Have you been recently?
What's about the LaVorne Mansion?
I know Margot LaVorne harvests these roots a lot. It's a very particular smell.
Danger root?
Where did you get such a...
I picked it up outside.
Really?
This is not Oliver. This is Matthew laughing his ass off. This is not Oliver. Oliver's keeping a straight face.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about my perfume?
I'm not as stupid as people often think I am. Why are you hiding out in a cave here, really?
Right, well, if you know Margot...
Right, we live together in the Lavidia forest.
Right.
Well, what actually happened was this, that we were hunted down by some people and we were thrown into the river because we needed to escape, because Rachel is actually kind of still alive, and Amelia Violet isn't that nice of a person, actually.
Eclaire!
Yeah?
I tried to inspect if there was any changes in her attitude towards us when she heard...
You see her eyes widen a little bit. She still looks over a little bit scornfully to Eclaire, definitely because she's still wearing the uniform. And
Well, should have just said so. God.
Well, I mean, do you understand that we might be a little bit sketchish as to who...
Oh, you think I don't know about persecution?
No, of course I'm not saying
Well, what's the big deal?
Everyone goes through it nowadays.
that. Prosecution? It's the new teenager.
Well, girl, I'd be glad to see that you're for once on the receiving side of oppression. Sorry, but you now finally know what people like us go through.
I mean, darling, you have a lot of privilege that goes unchecked.
Well, privilege is quite nice to have, actually.
Well, it is, but it's not nice
exactly
for other
the point of
people.
it.
I'm going back to sleep if that's alright. I don't like this.
Can we fetch a ride with you still, darling? Please.
I suppose so, but I'm not going near Brovnoya.
Well, I mean, we can
I
go...
guess I could for friends.
Oh, that would be lovely, darling.
Why won't you go near Brovnoya?
Well, I live in Rizaldrop, which is the other way, but honestly, I'm out of supplies anyway. I think I need crafting material for on the way.
We can help as much as we can.
When she talks about
Would you like a puff of this?
Oh, thank God.
as you see her take a big smell.
Oh, that does it. That absolutely just does it.
There we go. Making new friends.
As she talks about supplies, realize now that you were supposed to restock at the convention. However, you never got to that, obviously. So you still have food for like half a day left.
How
which
far
is probably
is Brovnoya?
tonight. Brovnoya is probably, if you're fast, 1 day travel by cart.
Ah, I have the one count, and then the Pietro, my little donkey.
Pietro, we have Lady with the Donkey, we have Pink Lady, we've got Eclaire, and we've got
Oliver. I've
Oliver.
introduced myself to you.
Why am
Yeah.
I just Pink Lady? Vanity.
Vanity.
I've seen you before at the convention. Could that be?
Probably. I mean, darling. Like, who would forget this beautiful face? It's
I
fine.
think I saw you before somewhere else, but
I doubt it.
the tip of my tongue for you.
Maybe you were. I probably bought something off of you one of these trips, right? Yeah, I mean, you sell such great stuff.
Well, I did.
How did you get started in that business?
Poverty.
The need for money, you insolent little shit. Well,
About making
actually,
potions.
I mean, if we can catch a ride with you to Brofnoya, then that would already help us out a
I'd
great
be happy to help
lot.
that.
Should we start moving now? Because otherwise it will be light.
That's a very clear point, yes.
Yes, although the markets won't be open until tomorrow morning.
Well, by the time we get there, it's tomorrow morning then.
Yes, that should be true.
And we can take shifts steering the cart.
You should know that you attracted quite a bit of attention. Impressive, but dangerous. I'm just thinking out loud. There are probably guards stationed everywhere. What do you think we should do?
Well, do you think they'd just be stationed
I
on
just
the-
look at her and then I use disguise at will, like disguise myself at will.
Mask of many faces.
Mask of many faces.
Right, this is your warlock ability.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is my warlock ability
As in
that
front
allows me to
of
cast
everybody's eyes, I think
disguise
this is the
stealth.
first time you might have pulled this trick.
Yeah.
You suddenly, as if pulling off like a layer of skin, an entirely different face shows up. What kind of face are you projecting?
Ingrid, just a second Ingrid.
Like her sister.
Like her sister, but like with a tiny beauty mark, of course. Just to show her what she could be.
I'm you, but better.
Oh, by
Well, I mean,
Lord.
and that's very nice for you, but we've still got a fire monkey.
Very uncanny.
And me.
Do I
and-
really look like that? I have some blankets in the car.
Oh, we could hide.
I can do this. And you look at her eyes, and the eyes go from blue to pink.
using thaumaturgy to change her eye colour.
Yes.
I are you, darling? I
How?
recognize you.
Well, what I think, Eclaire, is that you might need to take off your uniform.
Or
Then
We
I'll be
can-
it's to
naked.
our
No, 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 no,
advantage that
you've
she's
got-
wearing a uniform.
No, it's not, because we'll be noticed way quicker.
Well, not necessarily. I heard, because I was in the convention hall, that she ushered a royal decree. Well, royal decrees are often way slower than this. I don't think that word has traveled maybe way all the way to Brofnoya. Maybe we can actually outrun this. Then we need to move quickly.
Let's do it.
A royal decree often takes way more hours. It's quite bureaucratic.
I can imagine it's a
imagine.
royal one, yeah.
Yeah, so we might have a little bit of leeway here, although we need to move
Let's
quickly.
work fast then, darling. Let's leave right now.
Right, are we all settled then?
Yes. You can sleep more in the car, we take shifts so people can...
Dark, you just no
Right. So don't worry about it. You'll get your sleep.
We might find some use for you, actually. If they don't know about us yet, her stature, her position might actually be of good advantage.
Yeah, I know that I have to say that I'm from House Mavis, the strong one.
Let's go before you kill the vibe.
What?
Nothing. Let's go.
So as you make your way from the camouflaged entrance that you produced,
You slowly walk out and you see now it's absolutely moonlit here. It's gone completely dark and you don't hear or see any of these legionnaires still looking for you. You see the coop still in the distance and lights are slowly turning off in the coop. The convention is completely over. You get the feeling. Perhaps it was cancelled or you don't know what happened, but there doesn't seem to be many people walking around or even in the coop anymore. So you sit on the cart, I presume, and leave?
Yes.
So as you are on the cart still riding, you're setting off for Brofnoya, riding along the rocky hillsides of Doran in Ingrid's disheveled wooden cart. You can't help, pulled by a donkey,
Yeah.
one donkey for
Poor
5 people.
man.
You can't help but feel a little bit uneasy knowing that so many might be looking for you still. For all you know, there might be legionnaires headed to the LaVorne Mansion right now. And then I think you would all notice something flying overhead, because it is a cloudless sky at this point, and it's a full moon. So it's quite bright still out. And you see flying above you a swan, flying towards the city of Brovnoya in the same direction as you are. But what catches your eye is the fact that around its neck is a twisted ribbon of a sparkling violet fabric with a small gemstone in the middle of it.
No. Oh,
Make me
no.
a stealth check, all of you.
I would like to say that Oliver's probably taken to hiding Aravos beneath the blanket, so he's definitely not visible.
I have a natural 20 and a 19.
Nice.
Wow!
The 19, actually, it was a stealth,
Yeah.
goes into an 18.
Hold up, listener. This is the highest stealth check Eclaire will ever make.
Yes!
I had a 16.
I have a 17.
So you all duck beneath the linens.
Quick, everybody, hide!
That's really good.
Under the
So
blankets,
you all
down!
duck beneath the linens in Ingrid's cart. And as the swan goes overhead, you hear a... That's kind of the sound swan makes.
Just
I'll
ruined
pitch it
their
up.
whole stealth chat. You stupid
As it
hoe.
seems to be scanning
sound.
the area, just ever so slightly, the ribbon kind of flashes in the moonlight, and you see this violet color now very clearly as it just keeps flying towards Brovnoya and out of your sight.
As soon as we have the idea that it's safe again, Oliver just kind of throws it off and goes, fuck.
Why are you swearing so much?
I'm
Oliver, can you
swearing
keep it?
so much because obviously Violet Ribbon, who else do we know that likes Violet? It's literally in a name.
My mama.
What?
Your mum's called
Your mom's
Violet?
called Violet?
No, she just likes the color.
Okay, well,
Imelda Violet, how many swans do you see wearing purple ribbons and inspecting their surroundings?
Well, I wouldn't worry too much about it now. That is her familiar.
ah,
In
okay.
case you were wondering if it was actually her.
But her familiar can look as...
Not to shame her, but I don't think she's that powerful to actually transform herself into a swan.
Fair enough.
enough.
That's what I've
I
checked.
don't
Her
have
familiar.
magic myself, so I don't know the prerequisites
That
at all.
makes a lot of sense, yes. It's okay, she's flying that direction, we know that she's been inspecting, but she clearly did not identify that it was us. So we just have to be careful, and maybe our
We could
tracks are
kill the
covered.
swan.
No, we can't.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But good thinking.
So, a couple of hours later, as you're traveling along this road, it's getting really, really late. And the Dorney's hillsides slowly make way for more and more birch trees as you're entering kind of a half forest. It's very dark, but the full moon is kind of lighting your path still, so it's kind of safe to travel. From the southwest. As you're traveling through this thicket of birch trees, you haven't seen or heard anything besides critters in the night for a long time. However, make me a perception check, everyone.
So you're all still wearing what you were, of course, wearing at the convention. Oliver in almost like a schoolboy uniform, blue hair, and a cap. Vanity still in the long pink dress you were wearing at the convention.
Yes.
And Eclaire now a little bit dressed down to remove most of the Alberian colors. Or have we kept that on?
That was more your choice, I think.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we kind of told you that
Still in lunchbox armor, ironclad. You're traveling through the night, you're sleeping in turns. As the night now become less dark and dawn sets in very slowly.
Does it mean, like, off character, did we get a long rest?
Yeah, so that's...
So as the light starts to retake this landscape, the birch trees are illuminated. You can slowly see more and more of the hillsides above the canopies in the distance. You're still rather tired from this irregular sleep schedule, at least. But you've rejuvenated slightly, and you just have to keep going. Your limbs still feel slightly heavy from the trauma that your body had to endure yesterday, and hunger is starting to gnaw at your stomach as you desperately need more rations for your travels, as every ration that you had is now gone. Still, there's a clear task on your mind. You have to get back to the mansion.
I know, Pietro. We're gonna get some food very quickly. We should hit the markets first, shouldn't we? You're all quite famished, I can see.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yes.
So am I, to be honest.
I could use a grape.
A grape.
Then, as you coast over a large hill that you've been climbing, or the donkey has been climbing, pulling the cart for almost 10 minutes now, you come to the top of it and you see it in the distance. Faintly at first, in between these Dorney's morning fog, which is very regular here, but slowly rising from this fog, you see a large number of sprawling, tall buildings built around the river Volga, the river that goes through the entirety of Doran, guiding your journey back home. The houses that you see are made of a light grey brick and are extremely long pointed with blue tiled roofs, something like witch houses. It is clearly ancient Doranese architecture, and at first it almost looks like it's 3 distinct towns built a little bit too closely together. But then you start to see the bridges, and there's so many pill wooden bridges connecting all of these smaller districts together. There's no walls surrounding this large settlement, except for one lining the smaller central part of this settlement, in the middle of which stands an enormous, lavish building, a mansion of sorts, which is almost like a mayor's house. You are now in range of the respite town of Brovnoya.
Wake up, sleepyheads. Wake up. We're almost there.
Morning.
This looks funny.
And Ingrid ruffles your blue hair a little bit.
Wake up.
Kind of make that, like, that noise when you wake up. It's like kind of rubbing.
Yeah,
Nice.
one of you is drooling all over the blanket.
It'll be
Arvos
me.
is still out.
Vanity's drooling all over, like
Vanity's
no lady
lipstick
life.
is also smeared out
Yeah.
at this point.
I don't know if you, Oliver's probably been to Brovnoya like once, I think,
Yeah.
at max.
Yeah.
Because you spent most of your life in Orzon. I think Eclaire's never been in Brovnoya.
Well, all the pretty stuff.
The Alberians ruined it all when they invaded. That's where our pretty stuff went.
And the statues.
Ruined.
And the
No
fountains.
All our godly statues were demolished. We cannot preach to our gods anymore under the new Alberian rule. Girl, are you deaf? I thought you knew this.
I mean, we still have Ladovia the Binder.
Yes. True. Well,
Vladiv the Binder.
may she protect us at least.
But there are no gods.
There are no gods?
Oliver audibly.
Why are you traveling with this girl who spreads this Alberian propaganda?
Well, that's because she doesn't know any better.
Well, learn then.
Where should we go now? Shall we just...
I think we should not.
Wait here with the cart for a bit. I'm
You
going.
see multiple of these districts in the city of Brovnoya. The ones you're headed to is the South District, which seems to be a harbor and an industrious area. Then there's a central part, which has a wall around it, and that seems to be where much of shopping happens, where a lot of buildings neatly packed together are, a lot of inns perhaps, and in the center of that is the mayor's building. And then there's a large northern part, which is almost takes up half of the entire city, which is swaths and swaths of these pink and red flowery fields. So there's 3 districts. The central one, which you'd have to go through. The other ones, there's a southern harbor, and then there's a northern farm fields.
Oliver,
Yeah.
where should we go?
Oh, thank you.
Wow, alright.
I don't trust you. You don't told me to not trust you, so I'm doing what you told me.
I don't know why you're all ganging up on me right now. I'm actually from here.
You're from here.
Excuse me?
I mean, I've been here quite a lot of times.
I think personally we should go in and out as quickly as possible, get what we need, get some food, and then travel to
What do we need? Just supplies. Okay, well, we're already at the
And
market.
you got the list from Margot and Virgo about what we needed to bring otherwise. If they have it
Was
here...
that in paper? Because I'm pretty sure that's gone.
No, you got it.
I think what you're looking for right now is just rations to survive the journey, or to because you don't have anything anymore. So as you walk through the entrance of Brovnoya, you notice there's no walls or whatever, but there's these people going in and out constantly. There's carts of merchants, fishmongers, and whatever, constantly carrying their wares in and out of Brovnoya. This is clearly a market city of sorts, or a city of respite. You see not many people who necessarily live here, but of all different kinds of cultures, it seems. And you start to walk into the port. and this is clearly the most industrious area of Brovnoia. There's crates being shipped all over the place, and you can see decorative Doranese banners along the entire dockside, depicting a blue, half lion, half shark, and the banners have the name House Sperling on it, as they waft slightly in the breeze that wafts through the Sperling port. It is warm today, and it smells entirely of fish in here. It's also crowded as hell on the docksides, as people everywhere are talking. There's fishmongers and trinket sellers everywhere, traveling merchants from both Doran and Alberia, shouting their wares across the dock. However, what hits you instantly is they are not selling here. Instead, they're all pointing to the central part of Brovnoia for some strange reason. One fishmonger shouts, "Come one, come all, for the finest of seafood in this part of the Empire. Prices have never been better, so come visit us in Casimir's Copse to buy for your travels."
Do we have to stay here for very long? Can we just please leave? I go to the nearest food stall and I just go, "Give me food."
You notice now, again, there's a lot of fishmongers here, and one of these fishmongers, which has a crate open of fish, looks to you, closes it, and says, "Sorry, love. Afraid that's illegal. New orders from the Countess. 2 months ago it was stated that we can only sell in the central part, now Waldorf. You know it, I presume? Casimir's Copse."
Oh, why? Wait, 2 months ago, when was this announced? What are you talking about?
Take it you're not from here then. The Countess was afraid there was gonna be a raid by a rebellion of sorts.
A rebellion?
Has there been another rebellion?
Moved all merchants and such to the central part. Walled off by Alberian guards. It's very bad for business. Come to Casimir's Copse for the finest fish in the land!
But aren't you still what are you talking about? Why are you still selling here? I don't understand.
Well, we have to get people there. People are not going to go through the Alberian walls just by themselves.
So we have to go to the Copse.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Now please, I have to work over hours because
is
of
House
this,
Sperling not upset with this situation?
House Sperling's always upset, from what I know.
It just gets worse with every revolution that
Right,
they try to...
but can we not just nip in, nip out, get what we need and leave?
That's what we should do. I actually hopped over to a friend real quick and I don't know, it doesn't seem like there has been much word of you yet, but let's do business.
Let's go quickly then to the cops.
I would say, since you're keeping silent, make me a perception check with advantage, Eclaire.
She's like, big eyes,
Yeah,
looking at
looking
everything
around.
like, what the
So
fuck?
many impulses.
Yeah, you're very sort of...
ADD kind of
Yeah.
You are used to a lot more quiet. In both the Witches' Convention and Septon, where you're from, it's a lot less crowded all the time. So you're just trying to take it in, but it's a little much.
You see passerbys also taking your person in shock as they start bowing very quickly and then running along as they see your uniform.
Right, you might want to start taking that off now we get more into actual Doran. Because it's not a good look on you.
But it's mine.
Do you see now, girl, how the world treats you and how they treat us?
They bow for me, that's quite nice, isn't it?
Yes, quite
Because
nice.
they're scared. Oliver will start to look around if he can use the crowd to his advantage to get in as unseen as possible, as he would have done
To
many
Casimir's
times
Copse.
before.
You get the feeling that as you're walking through here, there's so many different people from so many different walks of life. It's probably easier to get through this place unnoticed than like a smaller village.
So Oliver tries to find a way through the crowd, and if you want to support Oliver can roll with advantage on stealth.
In order to support Oliver,
Jesus,
I
that's
just...
a natural 1 and a 2.
Oh.
But on stealth, so that's still an 8.
Oliver starts with wide elbowed, almost like a little bit man walk, just walk through the... you think you're being pretty stealthy, but you're overdoing it a little bit on the macho side.
As you just
knocking
bump
over
into,
apples accidentally.
As you just bump into a trinket seller with these round wooden spectacles on his face. He's
Watch where you're going, little man.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to hit you.
From round here.
No, I'm not.
People now start to take a little bit notice of you, as with your blue hair, you're
18.
definitely...
18, that's really good. as this is all happening, you're with Eclaire trying to walk behind, stealthily behind Oliver. You overhear a quaint little conversation of two men hauling crates, which catches your attention as you hear the name Cateau. As you hear,
Hey Radom, did you hear? Apparently the Countess Cateau has ordered the guard to start looking for some folks. Do you think that she's rooting out another rebellion, eh?
I bloody hope not. Last time they mistook my boy for one of them. Took them 6 painful months to get him out of the water. She's ruthless, I tell you.
I turn to both, Vanity turns to both, to all three of the companions and very elegantly poises herself up and says, "You better get the shit out of here soon." I am pretty sure Cateau is,
You're like, oh, that's a funny one.
has ordered for us to look for some people.
Oh, fuck.
And if I know that Imperial,
We can lie.
how about this? You two go set up the carriage so that we can evacuate as quickly as possible. Me and Ingrid will quickly grab all the supplies and meet you and exit as fast as possible.
Alright, just don't take too long.
And Ingrid looks over at Eclaire and says, girl, now that you live on this side of society, you're going to have to do a lot more things that you're not comfortable with before.
Okay. I can tell that I'm like my sister or something like that if that is, like, good.
Well, luckily all Iberians look the same.
Yes,
Well-
right?
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Let's give ourselves a deadline. By sunset, we need to leave.
I'm going way earlier than that into the morning. Come on.
You need to get food!
But I heard there's a sale for jewels.
No, listen. And not Vanity, listen, just get food. In an hour, we're leaving.
Okay, Vanity nods her head and says, then go, and I'll meet you there. I'll meet you at the exit, at the northern exit, in the Roskova fields.
Yeah, in an hour.
Hey babes! Before you continue watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our D&Drag Patreon, where you can help us develop this crazy show further.
It's